TLD Nation. This is your man TLD Crabman, and I'm here with Ray, also part of TLD Nation. FF. Alright, and we're here to talk about a movie review for Aladdin.
So, we went and see this movie a couple of weeks ago, and we gotta get it right out the way, the elephant in the room. The comparisons of Robin Williams' Genie and Will Smith's Genie, and just that being of the movies, what would you say about that?
I honestly, I liked Will Smith's Genie better. Don't get me wrong, Robin Williams is a prodigy, and the man will always be remembered for his Genie and everything, but Will Smith's Genie, I just felt like, I don't know if it was because it was live action or whatever might have been the reason, but to me it felt more like he absolutely loved playing that role and just took it to a whole new level.
And I can agree with you on that, but I can't really say who I love more or whatnot. They each played the Genie in their own style, their own way. Robin Williams played it a little bit more, how would you say it? No script.
Yeah.
And Will Smith was a little bit to the script, which is kind of why if I had to choose, I would probably go with Robin Williams, just because that man had so much just freedom with his character. Not to, there's probably some lines in there that Will Smith ad-libbed or whatever, but for the most part, I would say Robin Williams probably, he's still the Genie to me. And then the movie itself, it kind of seemed a little slower. The live action one seemed a little bit slower than the animated one to me. I don't.
Really? See, and I felt like, okay, so like the first 10 minutes of the Will Smith version, I felt like, especially during the first couple songs that they did, it felt rushed. Like I felt they kind of sped up the film as they were singing to kind of try and match what they were doing in the live action version. To me, that's what it felt like while I was watching. My first time watching it, I felt like it was rushed at the beginning for the live action version.
Yeah, there's some parts you could probably you could see that, but I feel like the Friend Like Me song with Will Smith's version was a little bit slowed down because he's not as quick-footed singing as Robin Williams was.
And the Will Smith version also had more of a modern day touch on it.
Yeah,
definitely, in my opinion, way better.
Definitely a more modern day touch. What about Aladdin? How would you compare the two in that?
Okay, so with Aladdin, I feel the Aladdin from the Robin Williams version I liked him more than the live action one. The Aladdin in the live action was great. He did a good job acting, fantastic. I thought overall just a great guy and a great person to choose for that role. But I felt in the cartoon it was more immersive. Like I felt like whoever played the voice of Aladdin then really connected with the character and just really dove into it and went all out.
Well, also I really agree with you on that. The live action Aladdin, he was great. He played Aladdin well, but to me, the animated Aladdin was Aladdin. When you think of Aladdin, you think of clever, quick-witted. Is ready to do whatever it takes to get what he needs to get. There were some times in the live action film where I kind of felt like Aladdin wasn't really Aladdin. Like he was trying to figure out who he was. And even in the animated movie, he was still trying to figure out and come to terms with he was okay with being who he was and not pretending to be someone to fall for the girl.
I agree with that. I feel like Aladdin in the cartoon also was a lot more selfish, and the one in the live action was a lot more selfless. Like at the very end where he kind of tries to. By the way, spoilers. When he's trying to, it's a little late, right?
Yeah, right.
But I feel like Aladdin was at the end, and even in the middle of the story, he was still pretty selfless when it came to. He even let Genie tried to go with the handmaiden, which I don't even think was a thing in the Robin Williams version. To me, at the very end when he walks away, I don't recall that. I recall that Aladdin in the Robin Williams version, it was just instantly they were happy, kissing, marriage, we got down. But I don't recall for sure. But to me, I just felt like he was a lot more selfless in the live action version than he was in the cartoon.
And that's something I caught on to as well. He made a lot of mistakes in the live action one. He made a lot of mistakes that in the cartoon he wouldn't have made.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah. Well,
because you're at 6 minutes, man. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay. Well, yeah, he made a lot of mistakes, and in the cartoon you wouldn't have seen that.
Right.
Diving in deeper, Jafar. Oh man.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Just kick him out of the movie. Off the edge.
If anyone who loves Aladdin, going into watching the live action film, don't have high hopes for Jafar. He's not Jafar.
He's like the soft porn version of Jafar to the cartoon is really what it was like to me.
It was really disappointing.
Yes. He don't get me wrong, he did a great job doing the part. It's just he was not the actor for the part. It needed somebody with more grungy, more terrifying voice with a more nasty feel to it. Like Jim Carrey, I bet Jim Carrey would have knocked the shit out of Jafar in that movie.
And it's just, I feel they wanted Jafar to play a little softer
than the last one.
But it's Aladdin. Give the people what they want.
Right.
They go into this movie wanting to hate Jafar. I didn't hate Jafar. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, and at the beginning I was like, hey, this Jafar guy doesn't seem like a bad dude. He's sitting here trying to be like Aladdin's father figure for the first 5 minutes we were with him.
I was like, this is not Jafar. I was like, maybe his son, maybe, but not necessarily Jafar.
Okay. So, just to kind of speed things along here, we've talked about the main kind of set characters. Let's talk about the plot of the story.
Definitely in this one, they had a bigger plot, and even some of the other characters had subplots in the story, where Aladdin is in love with Jasmine, and he's trying to woo her, but also Jasmine, who is overcoming, trying to be seen and not just heard.
Yeah, she's definitely more trying to be the sultan, like trying to be an actual leader figure in this one more than in the Robin Williams version. She was more of just like the damsel in distress.
Yes,
and was on Aladdin's side when it came against Jafar. This one, I agree. She totally had more of her own story.
She had her and even the genie had they added on to the genie's story from Robin Williams, where the genie fell in love.
Yeah, so, Genie had its own love. It started off with the genie in the beginning, and he's telling the story and everything.
Yeah.
I agree. It totally focused more around the genie as well. Like each character had their own thing. It was great.
Except for Jafar.
Right.
Jafar's story is pretty much the same in both, except in the cartoon, Jafar. It's at times it seemed like Jafar was going to win. At no point in the live action movie did I feel Jafar was going to win.
I was like, this dude's going to lose.
At no point did I feel Jafar was going to win.
Alright, let's talk about, I would say the cinematic, the camera angles and stuff like that. Did you feel like whoever was filming, the director and them, did you feel like they took a great take on the way they approached it?
Yeah, there were some angles that really hit the spot, like the magic carpet ride around the world, a whole new world. I don't think you could have shot that scene a better way.
Well, not only that, the whole crew, the director, and everybody, they didn't. So most movies, you build these side buildings or film in a big city, right? These guys had to create like a whole village,
Yeah,
a whole fucking city, in the middle of a desert. Like they captured that place perfectly. Now I don't know if it's all CGI. I don't know what the case might have been with that, but it was downright looked amazing on some of the angles that they had.
Oh, you brought up CGI. Well, when the genie first appeared, I was skeptical because I was like, oh man, he looks a little bit too blue. Too blue, man. And then he became, natural skin tone genie, and I was like, okay, I can get this. But when he went back to the blue genie, it wasn't, just too much. I was okay with it.
There's actually a lot of times too where I felt like I could not tell the difference between if it was actually Will Smith's body or the genie until he was like, fucking like a jackhammer over there lifted. But it did look really cool. And I did like how it was a smoke, not blue feet underneath him. It was a cloud, like a genie. I thought that was really cool.
Before we get to this last part, we have to talk about the ending. The third act. Most people don't like it, and I can see. I can definitely see where they come from. And that third act starts with Jasmine singing. And when she sings and she turns around and everyone just starts to vanish.
So, okay, I asked about this to a friend of mine. She said that scene when in the middle of nowhere, they don't give you an
she's blowing people away.
where people are disintegrating in front of you. Okay, they don't give you an explanation, but that's supposed to be like her princess song, from like Wreck-It Ralph and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be where she fucking her victory. You can't silence me. Blah blah blah. I will say, though it was really well done, it was you literally could have gone the entire movie without having that in there. It was a really offsetting. A lot of people were like, "What the hell?" Like really confused at that point.
I differ to it. I liked it.
Did you?
I really did. Like the only reason I liked it is because it's her breaking away from only being seen and not heard. The whole Jafar even says, "Learn to be seen and not heard." Like he doesn't. He says basically, your voice doesn't stand for anything. You're a princess. Be pretty. That's all. That's all you really need to be. And at that point, when she turns around, it's in her head that she's finally realized she doesn't want to just be, that
Object.
that object that is just seen, and she wants to stand for something bigger. So when she turns around and the people are disintegrating or whatnot, it's her defeating those obstacles, those odds. She's overcoming it.
Right.
So in my mind,
more part of like her main plot, her story.
Yes. So I feel like them putting that in there was great, but also they could have gone about it a little bit different.
Okay, so now what if there was anything in there that you personally made you enjoy it, or made the difference, what would it be?
Will Smith.
Will Smith, Will Smith. Praise the man. That's it.
If anyone who knows me knows that Will Smith is my favorite actor.
Okay.
So just when I heard that Will Smith got the role as Genie, I was like, oh, I've got to go watch this movie. My
biased opinion on it would honestly be Will Smith. Like once I heard Will Smith was Genie, I was like, this shit's gonna be good. I haven't seen a bad Will Smith movie yet besides
After Earth, man.
Kick that shit out of here.
And I don't even count that as a Will Smith movie. That's a Jaden Smith movie. That's a Jaden Smith movie.
It was focused more around Jaden Smith. He's not in it. But yeah, if you had to rate it, what would it be?
I'd rate it a 7.
Okay, I would definitely give it a 7 as well. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so thank you guys for joining us with TLD Nation and everything. I am TLD Crabman.
I'm Ray Ray.
And we will see you guys next time on the next review. Later.